Alright, so the other day I was on my journey on an adventure, right? And I was looking around, but I was still in my mind. But a shadow popped up. The shadow popped up. When the shadow popped up, the shadow moved to the right. It was to the left, and then it was to the right. And so as I watched that shadow fluctuate, right? As I did watch the flower, the flower. I meant to say the shadow. As I watched the shadow fluctuate, I was like, wow. Then I seen another shadow, and it was my shadow. And so it was multiple of my shadows. Now, when I say I rap and sing and stuff, I've done songs about shadows. I've always thought about shadows. We always see the shadows, right? You either see a shadow on a wall, you see the shadow reflection of you know what I'm saying, whatever type of, you know what I'm saying, river, beach or something. You see the reflection on the grounded grounds. And so these particular shadows of myself, and I always talk about shadowing self and stuff. When I say shadowing stuff, when I say shadowing self and shadowing stuff, that means like shadowing hovering over my mind, right? Like I'll be like, I had deja vu, or I was having a psychic moment. Like I seen something before already, right? And so catching a dream meaning like catching a dream that you ain't seen yet, and you making it come there, and you making it manifest right now, or a dream that you already had, which is deja vu, or a psychic dream where you manifesting a dream and it hasn't got there yet, right? Or just dreaming and daydreaming, right? Like you up and you just, you know what I'm saying, manifesting lots of storyline, magic, you know what I'm saying? So, with the imagination being imaginative as we is, my mind got to wondering when I seen the shadows, right? So getting back on topic, jumping around topics is what I talk about. And so I'm explaining a little bit more about what I'll be saying and how I'll be saying it and why I say it and the meanings behind of my sayings. And so as we keep it, you know what I'm saying, going with the shadow storyline, right? Which it really did happen, right? And so some of the storylines you will be making up on the top of the dome. And so that's very nice, factional mixed together, because the imagination, you haven't seen it yet. You say, I'm in Mars right now, or I'm about to go to Mars after I go to Jupiter. And you be like, okay, but you up there at the Ray Studios. I'm Ray, right? But I said I'm at the starlight of now. And so that is a very nice fictional storyline, because I mean I'm here in the flesh at Ray Studios, but I said I'm actually in space about to go to Mars because I'm on Jupiter, right? And so you'd be like, okay, well, you turned the studios for right now to Jupiter and Mars. You didn't turn it to Mars yet because you're about to go, but you and Jupiter, to yourself, you and Jupiter. So you broadcasted and you forecasted and projected Jupiter and Mars when it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, but it did happen because I said I'm in Jupiter. Although I said I'm at Ray Studios. So all of that plot and all of the actual character would be myself. The character would be everybody, because we just took the very nice viewers, which is ourselves and the storytellers, to Jupiter, to Ray Studios, and to Mars in a minute, right? And so some more of that. And so I do got a song I just did called Summer. I got songs called Jupiter and Mars and time traveling and things of the such, and plots of the very nice storylines and twist of whatever setting it is. So as I was seeing the shadows the other day, right? And I was like, wow, I talk about the shadows. I did songs about the shadows. I did trillions of songs, right? And so I was like, wow, the shadow was near. The shadow was, defined. And then as I was taking the steps on this journey, on this adventure, I seen the shadow fluctuate. Then I seen shadow with multitude of multiple, you know, multiple dimensions of figmentation of the motion and movement. Every move I did, the shadow did, right? And so I seen one in the front of me to the left, and then I seen the shadow to the side of me, like the angles, diagonal and peripherals and perimeters. And so, as I said, we are genius and we are, you know what I'm saying, intelligent with the intellect. And so, I was seeing, you know, how individual the shadow actually was, even though it was my shadow, right? And I seen another shadow, and I looked over there to the left where I first seen the shadow, and the shadow was still there. I looked back to the right, that shadow was there. So I said there's multiple shadows, but it's like as I'm taking the steps, the shadow's taking the steps. And so, but as I'm taking the steps, the shadow like going like this. You know what I'm saying? Like getting small and big, and even the like width, you know what I'm saying, of each shadow, and even like the definition and the defineness of the shadows was going in and out of the realm, the spectrum of my sight, you know what I'm saying? And so, as I was looking at the grounded grounds, I looked up, and I still seen the shadow from the peripherals. And so, as I'm looking like this, I can still see the shadows on the ground on each side, and I seen another one pop up. It just popped up. And matter of fact, it popped up when I looked away, because I looked, and then when I looked that way, I seen another shadow. So it was like three shadows shadowing me, mirroring each other, mirroring, you know what I'm saying, me, myself. So shadowing and mirroring self, it's always been a sin of mine. But that moment the other day, I was like, you know, I'll talk about the shadows, but I kind of never really paid attention to multiple shadows at one time. And then how they all was kind of like different color of shade of tint, you know, and then they kept fluctuating, and then all of a sudden it was just two shadows. All of a sudden it was just one. You know what I'm saying? It was cool, and then it just kept fluctuating size, width, color mechanisms, and just, you know what I'm saying, that was cool. I knew at that moment I was going to tell the story. I started to put the camera on right there, record right there, but then I was like, you know, I'm going to enjoy this moment, so I got on the camera to say it today. It's more in depth of the story that I proceed with that shadow. Very nice story that really happened and stuff. So the shadows, I always talk about shadows. I like shadows. I like, you know, I got a song called Dancing with the Shadows. All right, y'all, it's Ray, R-A-Y. Ray Sound. Y'all can check out a lot of my interviews out here, music and musicals. All right. And I make my beats. I be playing the instruments. I make up my own words in my mind frame and my mindset and all that. So set on whatever settings that it do be. That was the setting of my adventure of that, you know what I'm saying, of that, you know what I'm saying. So with all that being said, I'll see y'all in a minute. It's Ray or War.